the foil time shifted master, that's still like $70. Like, it's not a bad hit. There's no such thing as a bad hit with these ones. You know, like, they're just gorgeous. Anger of the Gods. It's going to be expensive. You know, these are all expensive cards. There's several that are worth hundreds of dollars. Chalice of the Void, couple $100. They're expensive. All right. That's going to be a big reason why that demand is high for these boxes, because you get a chance at a $330 card, or, you know, a $200 card, a $100 card. That's crazy that you're just going to have one of these money cards. That automatically adds a premium to these boxes. That's why they're not $250, right? Which is still way more than they were at release. They were $200 at release, $180, $190, whatever. They're not $250, they're at $330. They're $80 more, because you basically get an $80 card in every box. Sometimes it's spiky and it's worth a couple $100. Like, it's crazy. So where's the price going to go from here? You know, there's been a lot of speculation about these boxes and there being a bigger supply. There's not going to be a reprint, right? But saying, hey, is there going to be more put through the supply chain, through the traditional distributors to LGS? Is that how we're going to get them? Or is Wizards secretly holding a bunch of pallets of these, a couple thousand boxes they're going to release onto Amazon so they can take a lot bigger profits? Doesn't matter either way. However they get it out there, I don't think there's that much more to go around. And realistically, if there's only another few pallets that need to be released, prices are not going to go below 300. All right, they're just not going to, even if there's a big supply pushed. And now maybe let's say there's a huge resupply of this, like anyone, distributors got them, any LGS can go order them. It's not going to go below $250 a box. I just don't see it happening. Can I predict the future? No. This is just my opinion. And the reality is, the value in these boxes is just really, really high. Yeah, okay, if they magically just release 5x of what has been released so far, they just flood the market, yeah, obviously the prices are going to tank. But realistically, what we can realistically expect for a reprint or a restock or whatever, even if it's big, even if it's massive, how are these going to go below $250 a box? Like, the cards of them are just too desirable. Too many people want them. Too many people want these beautiful, beautiful versions of these altered, old, retro frames of these cards. That's the reality we're in. Now, should you sell right now? Obviously, I don't think the prices are going to go down much, but maybe they do. What if they tank to $250, all right? Well, why did you buy these boxes? To invest in them for the long term, right? Let's think about this. Let's break it down to the basics. If you bought some boxes of Magic, and in this case, Spiral Remastered, and your goal was to hold them for the long term, why? Why do you do that? And the most basic answer of what an investment is, right? The nuts and bolts. An investment is a way to store purchasing power with the hope that you'll have more purchasing power in the future, right? You're taking care of your future self. You're saying, all right, my 2021 self, I can part ways with $200, $300, whatever it is, and I'm hoping that my 2025 self is going to get more than $200 or $300, whatever your purchase price is, more purchasing power in the future, right? That's the whole idea. That's the basic definition of an investment. That's why humans invest, is to store purchasing power to let it grow, to have more purchasing power in the future, right? You convert it back to cash and you go buy something with it. That's it. There are only so many investment options in the world. And do you really think you're going to get a better return than Spiral Remastered? Like, do you honestly think selling now, it's like, oh, I bought mine at $190, I'm going to sell mine at $330, boom, I just cleared $140. Awesome, right? I just flipped $140. That's great, right? Let's say after all nets and fees and all that stuff, I clear 50%. Okay, well, if I could do that on a regular basis, great. Give me $1 million and let me make $500,000 over 2 months. I'll do that, right? It's not really that was a great one-time little burst, and so people are freaking out and they want to lock in profits right away. They want to lock in those profits. They want to lock in that 50, 60, 70% profit and just be stoked about it. They made that over 2 weeks or 2 months, which is awesome. Again, that's a great return. I'm not saying it's not, but what do you plan to do? Like, why do you need to lock in those profits? To buy another investment that's going to perform worse over time? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if I sell this now, it's not because I need the cash. If you need the cash, you shouldn't have done this in the first place. It's a risky flip you got lucky with. So if your goal again was to do this long term, selling now, what's the benefit of it? To just buy a different asset to store wealth in and hope that it grows at a better return? Like, do you really think you're going to get much of a better return than Spiral Remastered? I mean, this is going to be a $500 box. In a year, In 6 months? In 2 years? I don't know. No one knows. Does this look like a $500 box? Yes, it does. Someone made a comment in my last video saying, what do you think? This can be a $500 box? And I just said, yeah, it's not if, it's when. This is definitely going to be a $500 box. I just don't know how long it's going to take. So let's say, right, let's say you buy a box right now at this price, at $330. Okay, you bought at kind of a peak, right? You didn't get in, you missed it, the price kept going up, you kept thinking there was going to be more supply out there, so the price is going to go back down. It didn't happen. Finally, you decide, all right, I want a position, I'm confident in Time Spiral Remastered, I'm going to buy it. Let's say in 2 years it goes to $500, right? Which would be awesome. That would be great. If it does that, you cleared $170, so you're clearing like 50% over 2 years, 25% a year. That is criminally good returns. Like 25% a year is insane. So even if you buy at $330, if this were to go to $500 in 2 years, which I don't know when it's going to hit $500. Maybe it'll be $500 by the time this video posts in 2 days. I don't freaking know. That's not going to happen. But maybe. That's an insane return. Like, if you're confident in Time Spiral Remastered long term, why sell now? If you need the cash, you shouldn't have bought it in the first place, right? It's just a bad idea to be trying to flipping Magic product between when it releases to 2 months later, because sometimes they tank over the course of those first 2 months, right? You just don't know. There's no way to predict this stuff unless you have secret, deep insights and deep knowledge and a time machine. Then sure, you can do that. But without all that, and without secretly texting Mark Rosewater and having him under, no one having that insight knowledge, without that, you can't predict this stuff. So if you need a cash, this isn't the best way to do it. You should go work a job and whatever. If you're in this for the long term, you're going to get a better return than Time Spiral Remastered. And there's just no way to predict this stuff. There's no way to know. Like you might, maybe go in and parking your money in Kaldheim or Theros Beyond Death, which is just like crazy EV. Maybe that's where you want to go park your money. But do you really know it's going to give you a better return? No, of course not. And do you really think you can get better? Like why take yourself out of having some exposure to Time Spiral Remastered? Like you got to have that diversified portfolio, and within your alternate investment sector of Magic cards, you got to have, again, diversified sets of that sealed product. And I don't see a reason to not have a position in Time Spiral Remastered. I just don't see it. It looks like an awesome product. That's what I think. I think Time Spiral Remastered is awesome. It might dip in price if there's more put out there, but the reality is the actual content of this box, what the actual product is, I'm really bullish on. I think it's going to be great. Now, I got to end the video here because I have a little game within the game that right when I hit start, I put my taquitos in the oven and they're going to be done in 14 minutes. And I think I filmed this under 14 minutes. So I got to end my video right now. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.